Welcome to this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. I'm Mike Kinney. I get the pleasure to host this three-ring circus about everything to do with cars, the culture, and the amazing people. Do me a personal favor. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell, right? Click the bell so you know what's coming up. This week, we have a slightly different change of pace, if you will. Very good friend of mine. We go back many, many, many years. This is Joel Ayres, and he is with the Automotive Aftermarket Charitable Foundation, AACF. If you haven't heard of it, don't feel too surprised. I hadn't either, so I learned more. We're going to have a fantastic show, and the best way to bring Joel on before we actually bring him on, you know the old thing about pictures worth 1,000 words? Well, here's a video. And if it doesn't touch your heart may not be beaten yet this morning. Rick, let's run that video, please.
1XL67, Roger, 1A67, correct.
Joel was an unbelievably good brother and father. His son Mason meant the world to him. So I'm getting ready to leave work, and my mom texts me and says, Keely, he has cancer. It's unbearable.
It's been a very positive experience in what has been a very difficult time.
One of our friends, peers, employees, family members falls on hard times. We're the ones that are here to help.
We thought we were coming back. We didn't think that it was going to be gone when we came back.
The only thing left was the fireplace.
The foundation is the only resource that the aftermarket has that is dedicated to taking care of need in our industry.
To be a part of this good work that the Automotive Aftermarket Charitable Foundation is a part of, because I know that they'll feel better.
These are things that happen to you when you're not prepared.
And I'm glad to be able to give back.
Wow. So I want to thank you, Joel, for sharing that video with us in advance. Mary's laughing. She says, how many times are you going to watch that video? I says, well, it's so well produced, obviously, but it's so poignant. And I got to be candid, Joel. I'm looking at your bio, and I was teasing a few days ago. I said, because I like to read people's bios for the show. Well, it's to be about a 15 to 20-minute exercise, so we're going to do some highlights as we're in our time together. But, Joel, I got to be candid, man. You got over 40 years in the truck and off-road accessory aftermarket industry. You've been with BEDSLIDE, KV Molded Products, all these organizations. It seems like you're really kind of hitting stride with AACF. I got to be candid.
Yeah, it's like I told someone in an interview, I kind of feel like it's my swan song to go out here. I've always, as you know, because you were involved with me for a while, I've been involved with charity work, and to actually, that's what I get paid to do. It's my full-time job. I'm loving it. So.
Absolutely. We talk about, so look at some of my notes. You were the first board chairman for the Big Brothers of Northeastern Indiana. God bless you. Hart Gallery Scholarships, Adam Petty Victory Junction Camp, Vice President Board of Trustees for the Spiritual Life Center, African Hope Fund. So you're doing about 30 hours in a 24-hour day, I think, right?
Trying to. It's but I'll tell you, when you, as you know, Mike, when you're doing something you enjoy, it's easy. It makes it it's easy. So
exactly. And viewers, Joel and I go back far enough. I think both of us had black hair at that time.
Oh yes, we did. I noticed that headshot you put up of me. Yeah, that was before we decided to go with the new trend of platinum hair guy.
That's
so.
it. We're part of those trendsetters. And for the viewers, if you haven't heard his name, I'll do it the other way. If you've ever been near a SEMA show or read a SEMA magazine, I guarantee you, as my granddaddy would say, you've either heard about this guy, read about this guy, or actually had a chance to shake his hand. So we've got a few SEMA picks to kind of step through some of the where Joel has done and what he's been with the friends at SEMA. So, Rick, I think we got a few of those we could grab. Now, this is when you got the Hall of Fame. I think you're on the far left, right, buddy?
Yes, that's me again with before the platinum.
We got a few more, some of the presentation, because you've been so active in SEMA, and that was with one of the groups inside SEMA, right?
Yeah, that's Toro was truck and off-road accessories, and before that they were they've changed their name a few times. I was on the original founding of it when it was TCAA, and then it went to LTAA, and finally Torah. So, but yeah, it was a nice honor. I was very surprised and very honored to get that. So.
Very, very cool. So I think we got a few more we can step through here. And his hair color may change as we go through some of these.
We're noticing that shot there. It's starting to, the highlights are starting to come
out. I think this is one of your thank yous. And this was at the big SEMA banquet, right?
Right. That's correct. I'm trying to remember what that one was. That might have been when I was Person of the Year, but I'm not exactly sure. So
yeah, but there's few people paying attention. We'll do it that way. So there's a shocker. You actually get a spotlight, right? What active as you've been. And for my viewers, before we move off this shot, you're on the board of directors for 12 years. You're a chairman of the Hall of Fame Task Force. You founded SEMA CARES and the first chairman for it. You co-founded the SEMA Pinewood Drag Race, which is really cool. The Next Generation Task Force, and you're chair of the SEMA Scholarship Committee. So you continue to be very actively engaged in SEMA at many levels. And Rick, can you pull both of us up for a second? I drive my producer crazy when I do this too. And I remember that, we both had black hair. This is many, many years ago.
Yes.
And you came, because I think I was on the board for Hot Rod Industry Alliance, and you came in early in the morning to talk about this brand new charity entitled SEMA CARES. And I think I was the first guy that walked up and I says, here's my business card, put me in the hunt.
Right. And then you came to our car show we had in Pasadena.
Came to Pasadena. I had the pleasure of emceeing that show for you guys. And
right. Yeah, that was great. We had the kids there from Child Help Village and Victory Junction Gang, Victory Junction Gang Camp. It was really nice. So
it was really nice. And just for the viewers, I've mentioned now a couple times, I'll make sure you get it right. The SEMA Scholarship Committee, they have a scholarship program for like use, as Joe Petty would say, but my cousin Vinny, but actually older people aren't quite as young as well who are interested in an automotive career. Can you give us a couple of just snippets of what that scholarship's about, Joel?
Well, yeah, what's nice is it started off years ago. It was only for 4-year university scholarships, and we realized afterwards that a lot of the need was coming from the tech schools and mechanics and that type of stuff. So actually, while I was chairman, we changed that, and but it helps students that are wanting to get in the automotive. It offers them scholarships, and they can also come to the show and meet with manufacturers and see what's happening. So it's a lot. It was a lot of fun working with them.
So for the viewers, especially if you have some in your family, and a lot of them when they're younger where that scholarship can make a really big difference, we're not talking about they have to go to Harvard or Yale, right? It can be some of the tech school, which candidly can provide you just some very unique skills you may not get from other colleges. And this SEMA Scholarship Program, they have some ways to help.
Right, exactly. And I know you've been a judge on it. I've been a judge the last few years, even though I'm no longer chair. We still get to read, and it's really inspiring, like you said, to read some of those young people. Yep.
It's absolutely phenomenal. So, Rick, let's jump back into some of the SEMA picks. We got a few more in here. Now, I think to your right, be our left, look, if my eyes don't deceive me, I think it's Mike Spagnolia standing there, ain't it?
That is my good friend Mike. He started helping me with SEMA CARES right from the beginning. Him and his family came up and said, hey, they heard me talk at an event and said, can we get involved? Mike and I served on the SEMA board together, and as many people may know, he is now the new president and CEO of SEMA. So I'm very proud of. He's my buddy, and I'm very proud of what he's done. Picture we're holding there is Mike, without me knowing about it, started a fundraiser to shave my head. To raise money for the children's charities. And so while I was being interviewed on, I think it was Channel 8 in LA, and they were the TV reporter were saying, so we hear if you hit a certain number, you're going to shave your head. And I saw my chance to get even, and it was live TV, and I said yes. And if we can double that number, Mike Spagnola has agreed to shave his. And I wish someone would have captured the look on his face.
Oh my
The
goodness.
camera and the microphone went over there. So Mike and I ended up. My girlfriend at the time, she shaved her head, and then somebody offered to donate if Peter McGillivray got up there, and so that picture I'm holding is the four of us getting our head shaved, and this was we were presented with an award from Child Help at Washington D.C., a big event they have in Washington D.C., and that we went out there and were presented an award for what we'd done with SEMA CARES. So.
Well, congratulations, great story. I think we got a couple more SEMA picks. Now, I know you're the guy, but just okay. Who doesn't love Joel? I think's what's going on here.
It's well. Also, you notice besides the darker hair, I wasn't didn't look like I was 8 months pregnant like I do now. But yeah, this was one of my fun things. I was the board liaison to the SEMA Business Women's Network, and I was honored. They actually requested that I be their liaison. I think Rose Kawasaki, and I had a ball. I'll tell you what, if you want to see a hustling group of people in our industry, these women they are unbelievable at what they get done and their energy. So.
Absolutely. I've had the chance to say howdy to some of that. That is amazing. And we talk about AACF. Well, we've got a couple of videos of some individuals who they say, yeah, it's really cool. We've got a video we're going to run right now, and you might actually recognize this person. There's a lead in.
Hi, I'm Chip Foose, here to give thanks to the Automotive Aftermarket Charitable Foundation. For more than 20 years, the AACF has been helping people in our industry deal with unexpected events such as accidents or illness. This foundation is the only charity specific to helping people employed by the automotive aftermarket. Make a donation today by going to aacf.org and learn more about this group and their important efforts.
I want to thank Chip for taking time out, because he just doesn't do those for the heck of it, as you know, Joel. And I think, candidly, that's a reflection of AACF and on yourself as well.
He is I will tell you, I first started working with Chip again with SEMA CARES. He was designing our cars we auctioned off at Barrett Jackson. Yeah. And I will tell you, he is the most real. If you watch him at the show, he walks through, there's a huge crowd around him, and he will take the time. They have to keep moving him because he will take the time to get a picture and talk to every single person. So just a great individual.
And a great individual, very cool car guy. When I emceed the car show you guys did for SEMA CARES, he was with us, and he was doing renderings and talking to people, doing autographs.
Yeah.
And nice segue.
One of the, if I could, well, before the segue, if I could real fast, one of the nicest things I ever saw him do, there was a line, probably about 45 minutes to get his autograph on a poster.
Yeah.
And he saw me bring the little kids from Child Help, and he stopped everybody and he said, bring those kids up on stage. And we had t-shirts on them. He took the shirts and he drew a car rendering on their shirt and autographed it. And it was like, nobody complained, of course. It was really, and that's the type of guy he is. Yeah. I mean, he was awesome. So, yeah.
Amazing artist, caring individual. So now for the world's greatest segue. Yeah, I learned that new word on Google this morning, Joel, before I came to studio. So I got to weave it in a little bit.
Yeah, you're doing very well with it.
Well, thank you. So when we say celebrities, here's a few that decided they really need to hang out with Joel. So if people don't recognize him, I'm not sure what planet you're from. Yeah. I believe that's Richard the King Petty.
Yes, it is. And you know what? It's just that hat. You don't even need to see anything but that hat and sunglasses. You know who it is. And another great guy. I met Richard when he was first opening Victory Junction gang camp, and I fell in love with it and ended up going back down and volunteering a couple times down there. So great guy, really nice guy.
Absolutely correct. I think we got a few more we can step through. Okay,
Barry McGuire.
Barry just, and I've been to the prayer breakfast with Barry. Just I kind of run out of big words to explain how cool this guy is.
Yeah, and the smile. I mean, that's $1 million smile. I want to get his toothpaste brand.
I would agree. Now, I think we got some extra celebrity status here.
Yeah, we do. That gentleman is an NFL Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yep.
Played he was Super Bowl MVP with the Rams. Then went to the Arizona Cardinals. And they just had a movie about his life came out last year. And he is an awesome individual. We actually went to the same college. He was, I was having babies when he was in college, but he's a good thing. And he's very active in charity work in the Phoenix area. And that's at a child help banquet.
Very cool.
So we were catching up on our hometown. So
Absolutely.
In Iowa.
I love it. Think you got another one now? Okay, who doesn't know Sinbad, right?
I know. Talk about a funny guy. He's been, I think, a couple times been at the SEMA banquet. The guy, he ad libs. I mean, it's amazing. He'll just have people ask him questions out of the audience, and he's hilarious. He knows cars. He's the car guy. So.
Oh. And that's not much better than that. And I think we got another shot. Now, let's see. Yeah. Two people to your left. There's a real car guy.
Yeah.
Maybe Mr.
And
Billy
of course,
Gibbons.
Billy Gibbons. Yeah, I know. Mr. ZZ Top himself. And that's those guys got together. I don't know if you were there, Mike, at the banquet a few years ago that they got up and jam together, which was, you had these legends. It was pretty cool. And they played each other's songs, and it was nice. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And Rick, go ahead and bring him back on for a second. And he goes, okay, so Joel's into charities. He's done some SEMA stuff. Is he really into cars? Well, I think we have a few examples because the answer is absolutely positively. So we got a little kind of days of yesteryear. We can kind of step through some of the rides you've had and ones you just think are uber cool.
Okay, sounds good. My Mustang, yes. I've had actually a few Mustangs. So my car in college, my freshman year in college was a Mustang. I had I had one of those cars that you kick yourself for selling. I had a 64 and a half Mustang convertible, which was the prototype.
Yes.
But, just before that, Lee Iacocca came out with before the 65 actually hit the market.
Right.
And I love that car. Red with a white interior, white top, and loaded. It had at the time it had power top, power windows, automatic center console, which was unusual at that time. And and believe it or not, I bought it from. This sounds like a story. A little old lady maid school teacher was the owner and only drove it once in a while. It had low mileage, and she was a school teacher in Iowa. And
oh my goodness,
she had bought it new. And basically all I did was I buffed the car up and didn't even need to paint it. It was just oxidized and buffed right up to that bright Ford red.
Yeah, that's the one you say you kick yourself for letting it get away. I think we have a few more examples of cool cars.
Yeah. I had this is actually at the Auto Museum in Sacramento, where I've been to a few events. But I had a red 56 T-Bird.
Nice.
I had it for quite a while, and it's like a lot of things. You decide you want something else, or you want something else, and So anyway, it's but yeah, I just finished 7 days and at the Monterey Pebble Beach car show with my friend Wade Kawasaki, and the only thing, my bank account's the only thing that kept me from coming home with a whole bunch of cars. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, is that a Camaro behind you?
Yeah, that's a Camaro. My older brother was a race car driver. He actually, I love the story he tells. He was in NASCAR for a while, but couldn't pick up a ride. But he said, I was in NASCAR when we had spare engines, not spare cars, like they do now. But he had that original. I don't know if you remember that Camaro pace car.
Oh yeah,
the stripes and everything, and so I grew up in a car family. We in Waterloo, Iowa, Tuna Speedway dirt track. We were there, my family, every Sunday night. And the true story, my baby sister, which is the only girl and the youngest in my family, was born. Mr. Tunis made a place for, as my dad was bringing my sister and mom home from the hospital, for us to pull up and park and watch the race before we even went home with my baby sister.
I absolutely. Now this is kind of sexy looking.
Oh, I know. That was a fun car to have. That's my Jaguar, and it's I thought you were sexy looking. Are you talking about me or the car?
Well, I do need to clarify. I was talking about the Jag. Yep, I got to ask Joel: is it Jaguar or Jaguar?
It's Jaguar.
Okay.
If you're from Iowa, anyway, that's it.
I think we got a couple more here now, and we got a shot to follow up behind this. That is Joel, and I believe. Go ahead and step to the next one, Rick. And you're going to get a sense how excited that was. Now, were you in Dubai?
Yeah, that's the Formula One track in Abu Dhabi, which is about 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes, I think, from Dubai. But I was there with representing SEMA board for a event we had out there, and we got to go around. And I realized what a helmet's for. I thought it was in case you were in a crash. It's because when they take those curves, it's your head heading against the roll bar. So that you need that helmet for.
So that would be truly an e-ticket ride. Well, to demonstrate, that 6 degrees of separation, my sister-in-law lives in Dubuque, and I was raised in Ottumwa, Iowa.
Oh, I did not even know that. And as long as we've known each other.
Yeah, I mean, you kept saying Iowa.
You're a Hawkeye also.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
What are the odds? And we're talking about, how. And we talk about how important it is with these different charities to have people involved that are recognized to give their versions of testimonial. And Rick, I think we have one more we can pull up. And if you've followed anything to do what's going on in the car world, you're going to recognize this guy, or at least his mustache.
Hi, I'm Dennis Gage, host of My Classic Car, and I want to talk to you about the Automotive Aftermarket Charitable Foundation. For more than 20 years, I've seen how many good-hearted people there are in this industry. But sometimes in life, the unexpected can turn your world upside down. It may be a sudden death in the family, or a serious illness or accident. And this could be one of your employees, coworkers, or friends. For those individuals and families of the automotive aftermarket industry that have fallen on hard times, the AACF provides financial support, resources, and guidance when our industry friends need it the most. It's the only charity specifically helping people employed in the automotive aftermarket. And here's how you can do your part. Make a donation today at aacfi.org. And while you're at the website, learn how your company can help spread the word as an awareness partner company. Good people just like you can help other good people in need in this industry we all share.
Thank you, Rick. I want to thank Dennis Gage as well, in addition to Chip. And we're towards the end of the show, viewers, well, we're going to talk quite a bit more about how people can get involved and how the shops can make a difference in raising awareness. Before we go there, you and I have talked over the years, Joel, and I got to ask, as you reflect because your career and your trajectory of what you've done with it is kind of a league of its own, who's been or still is your favorite mentor?
Oh, well, I'll have to say, first of all, my father's who got me into all this. Actually started out in the RV business. I was born in Forest City, Iowa, home of Winnebago Trailers.
Yes,
I
sir.
think everybody knows Winnebago. And my dad was with Winnebago, and so that's why I stay in hotels now, because we spent every weekend at a campground showing off the latest model. But I said I'm done camping. I'm kind of come back around to that, yeah. But anyway, and then my father decided to get in the truck accessory business and started a company, and my brothers and I went with him, and wow. And then just started going from there. So he was influential. And then just, man, so many people met along, like Chris Kirstein, and as we talked about earlier, Mike Spagnola, Dennis Gage, good friend. You, Mike, You know, there's this industry is so awesome because even competitors you become friends with, and I think everybody I told the president of our investment company, of the company I work for, one time, he said, you're friends with all those people, how do you compete? I said, John, it's a game, and I said, we put on a uniform, and I said, I'll go out there and I'll play as hard as I can to win within the rules. But when the gun goes off or the whistle blows, I'm going to go grab a beer with those guys. Absolutely. And that's how I kind of built my life around there, and was very honored by several times I had competitors that I was the first competitor they let actually tour their factory, and because they said they knew they could trust that I would never do anything. So anyway, so yeah, lots of mentors.
Lots of mentors making a difference. So all the viewers, especially the younger ones, listen, the first person he mentioned was his dad. Before we move on, we got to talk about family, because Joel, I know that's very important to you. So I think we got some picks there as well, like family and kind of extended family. What do we got going on here, brother?
Oh, well, this is my first time I volunteered at Victory Junction Gang Camp, Petty Victory Junction. It's a young man I'm actually still in touch with through Facebook, and it was it's a very rare disease that attacks the spinal cord, and I'm drawn. It's a long name that I can't even remember, but it was the first time the kids with this disease had been brought together from all over the United States, and it was really inspiring. That's his mom, and then Tom Brooks, who owns a chain of accessory stores on the East Coast called Trucking Thunder, and Ann Johnson, who's been all over the place in the industry. She was on the board also, and so we went down there and had a ball. These kids just inspire you, I'll tell you.
Absolutely.
And the whole idea behind the camp is just for them to have fun. It's really cool.
So now there's kind of like that's like the world's greatest selfie, right?
I know. Yeah, this is the year I got inducted into the SEMA Hall of Fame, and they had these up when they still put those up when you walk in there. And there's my kids.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's I was very proud to have them there, and they're my they're my greatest joy, and they're also they're the reason, like anybody that has children, it's kind of the reason you get up in the morning and do what you do. So.
And they had to be thrilled for you. What is the pie in the face about?
This was on a TV show called Good Morning Sacramento, and this was for leukemia. And we had a challenge, a pie in the face. You donate money and you get a pie in the face. And so that was kind of a fun, different thing to do. So.
Oh yeah, and so you're taking one for the team, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple more questions, but before we go there, we've got a couple of slides here to talk about AACF. And Rick, if you can pull up that, so viewers, that when you're at different events, if you see this booth, Joel will not be standing there, but I'm highly confident somebody else in the organization can explain to you all the great stuff going on, right, buddy?
Yeah, it is, and that's at the Napa Expo, which was fabulous this year, and Las Vegas at the Venetian, and good people. Napa is a big supporter of ours.
So the poster you're seeing right now, this kind of let everybody know what's going on, and so Rick, if you can pull us both up on screen together, and I understand there's some posters that different auto shops, retail, like Napa's, whoever they are, they can reach out to you guys, and they can get the posters to place on their bulletin board stuff to raise awareness for all of their associates that, hey, here's an option if you end up in dire straits. Is that correct?
Yeah, and this is the time I want to point this out is there's a lot of great charities out there, and we've talked about, I've been involved with a lot of them. Yeah. But we're the only charity that specifically is helping our own people that work in the automotive aftermarket. And there's no other charity doing that specifically. And what we want more than anything is to help more people. That's what we have to sell is help more people. And so a company can become what we call an awareness partner. and we supply the posters, we supply everything. All they got to do is the manpower to Scotch tape it or staple it or whatever in the break room, and to let their employees know that we're here to help. So
excellent. And so the information's there on the screen. So also, I believe, Joel, well, Rick will bring us back up here in a second. There we go. Is that individuals or philanthropists or companies, there's ways they can get involved to help fund some of the charity efforts. Is that correct as well?
Yeah. There's been some unique ones. Federated Auto Parts in Pronto down in Texas had one. If their employee donated, especially in the hot month of August, they could wear shorts to work, which they can't do normally. So, so it was a donation. There's been other ones where all sorts of stuff. Our big thing though is we have a golf tournament every year the day before SEMA opens. And this is our 30th year of having it, and we've raised $10 million over the years. And it's at a beautiful Spanish Trail Country Club there, and you probably know it in Las Vegas. And we have a reception the night before, and about 200 golfers, and it's from all over. I mean, we have teams, like I said, from Napa, Advanced Auto, Nissan even one year, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So.
I got two closing questions for you, and I promise we're almost done, because I know I always say I got one more, then you make me think of something. So as you look back to date, what's your favorite automotive memory?
Oh, wow. You should have supplied that question in advance. There's just so many.
I like to spring it on you once in a while.
Yeah, I would, to be honest, it was a huge honor getting to put in the SEMA Hall of Fame, especially when, and I've heard this from so many people. You at the luncheon that's only for the Hall of Fame members. The day of the banquet, we have a luncheon, and it's just for the Hall of Fame. You see all these legends. I mean, and you're going like, oh my God, I'm in. I'm part of this fraternity now, and it's just. I'll tell you, it blows your mind. It's just like it's how. And I actually have served on the nominating committee a few times and chaired it once. And when you see what you have to go through to even get in the Hall of Fame, you go like, how the heck did I make it? Somebody must have paid somebody off.
I think it's well deserved. But yes, I think you probably touched on that. That's probably a memory. Okay, here's your last question. I promise, and it's probably not much easier than one that is to ask you. Big sigh. What's your favorite automobile?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to sound funny. This is because I've always been a muscle car guy. Yeah. But I've got nostalgia because my first car when I was 16 was a Volkswagen Bug with a 1600 Porsche engine in it, and looked stock other than that. But I surprised a few Mustangs at the stoplight. But anyway, this resurgent and the VW Bugs and the old ones and the VW VistaView vans. Wade Kawasaki just bought one a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, and beautiful car. And and so it's been kind of that's kind of a memory. My first car was driving that little Bug, and didn't have a gas. I was telling nobody knew this. They didn't have a gas, and the older ones didn't have a gas gauge. So when you ran out of gas, there was a little lever you flipped that dipped down into a well of the gas tank to give you one more gallon. That's how you knew you were out. There was no gas gauge. And the other thing, the heater was basically a knob you turned, and it opened a vent, and there was no fan, and it just the heat from the engine came in there. And in there. At 60 below zero in Iowa,
it's not going to do much.
By the time I got to school, I was like chipping ice off me.
Exactly. You're just getting colder. Joe,
it wasn't the best car to take to Lover's Point in the wintertime.
Well, you might want to snuggle a little bit more. We're not sure. Well, Joel, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. And before you step away, because I know you won't do it, I'm going to. is when he shared his bio with me, viewers, he put a quote on there. I got to read it verbatim. I would like to think when I leave this world, I made a difference in the lives of children, our industry, and the people I've been blessed to meet. And Joel, you have already achieved that by a factor of 10. I am honored to have you as a friend, and I can't wait to see we can hook up together again and have a cold one.
I look forward to it, Mike, and thank you for all you've done for the industry.
Oh, it's my pleasure. God bless you and your family, and viewers, you got to check out AACF. I guarantee you're going to make a difference for somebody in this amazing industry of ours. Joel, have a great weekend. We'll be talking to you soon, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thank you, my friend. Yep. Okay. Take care.
You too. Wow. Told you it's going to be a cool episode. Anytime we get Joel Ayres in the room, it's going to go downhill as far as staying on schedule or topic. You got to check out AACF. In the meantime, also do me a personal favor. Subscribe, like, share, ring the bell. Let everybody know what's going on with Car Stars and Roll Bars. And until next time, enjoy the ride.